Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 53 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration. And today we will be once again focusing on our interplanetary program, but this time, since we already launched to Joule, our destination will be Eve. And I have already designed ships that can go to Duna, and Eve is pretty much same old, so I'm just gonna build my exploration, the comms one that I used for Duna, and I'm just gonna call it Eve Exploration Core Ship. So, be putting these two bad boys up, and then with some minor alterations, I guess. And then I want to be focusing on our broken probe, because our Eve to Kerbin window is closing in on within the next 35 days. And I want to be in the 5000 by 5000 orbit, I believe. So let me just quickly check that using my transfer window planner. Eve from 5000 to Kerbin 100. Year 3 in the next couple of days. Yes, thank you. Please, 2300, which should be enough. We have that much. And yeah, it should be coming pretty soon. So I'm just kind of checking the parameters. That's fine. And also Kerbin to Eve. So basically I'm using like these two windows to return this probe and send another batch of probes, or the exploration core ship. I think we'll need them because my ambition is, although I will probably not land Kerbals on Eve at any point soon, what I will do is I will send maybe a small robotic rover or something like that. But that's something that's a little bit way off. I have to still plan and make it and kind of figure it out how to actually do that. So, okay, now I'm building the exploration ship Mark 1. And that one is supposed to be actually regular Duna exploration ship, and it had like these solar panels. And actually Mark II science, so I just decided to actually remove the communications dish probes, or comms probes, and here I want to be putting some science equipment. And to do so I want to be changing the exploration medium range, I think, ScanSat. So yeah, I think that's the one that I want to change. Yes, and it's that one. It's using only RTGs, but yeah, actually that one looks pretty much okay, to be honest. I'm not sure if I want to really change it. Do I have the communication satellites? Others? Let me just see. No, that's the one that I replaced. Okay, a little bit search through my archives. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, I was a little bit not sure which one I should be taking. And here's the other one with the impactor and stuff. So that one I also want to be launching, and that's the non-reformed one. I'm wondering, where are my reworked probes? That's strange. Definitely wasn't this one. So, okay, never mind. Let's load this bad boy up, and I think I have them in sub-assemblies anyway. So, yeah. Oh, there's something here. Interesting. I'll just move this. I'll take it another time. Let's see. So let's put the separatrons. And the reason why I'm using separatrons is because I want to be reusing these docking ports. So they'll be used for docking craft that arrive in the orbit around Eve, I guess. So yeah, cool. Let's put that one on the spot. Exploration medium range, yeah. I mean, it's nuke powered, which is kind of ridiculous given the fact that we have already ample amount of sun, but then again, I really don't care. Those are too nicely designed, and I actually thinking just... So it's basically same equipment as we have on the... Same equipment exactly as it is on the other probe, but on the Joule exploration ship, only this time it's going to Eve, and the lifter stage is the stage from Duna. So call it a crossbreed between the two. Okay, so that's kind of the idea, and I don't need as much delta V for the probes, but then again, I mean, do we really need to care? I don't think so. Duna or Eve has also a couple of biomes, and I just want to make sure that I tick them off. And one parachute should be plenty enough, because the Eve's atmosphere is so thick that these parachutes should work beautifully. Okay, so this is the science one. Okay, and let's just fix the staging a little bit. I always find fixing this staging a little bit tedious. It's a little bit tricky, because if you get it wrong, then you'll pay through the nose. So yeah, I'm just making sure that all of the separatrons and docking ports that should come later stage, that are docking from the core ship, I want to be triggering those manually, not through staging interfaces in any regard. So yeah. Okay. Staging fixed, I would say, more or less. Time to put in the these guys, the fairings back, I guess. Okay. Staging should be correct. Fairings, just make sure that they're on their own separate stage. Yeah, this one, this too. Okay, so that they're not bundled together with our dropping of our tanks. So let's build a vessel. Okay, so we have the comms ship built, we have the exploration science ship built with impactor probes, and what I want to be building also is the one ScanSat, so just to map the terrain and give us some extra science. So I'm gonna kill this Kerbin to Eve transfer, and I'm gonna keep these two transfers from the transfer window planner, depending on which orbit we will be going away from. Okay, so going back to our broken probe, we want to get in and we want to raise its periapsis up to 5,000. So we want it to be in the orbit roughly 5,000 by 5,000. So first we are kind of reducing the apoapsis to 5,000, and then we'll be raising our periapsis to 5,000, and we have like 5.4 grand of delta V, which should be more than enough for us to be able to basically do any transfer that we like. That's at least one positive side of this kind of huge, very efficient engines, sorry, after ion thruster, I guess. So let's see here, I'm now just fixing at the apoapsis to burn and raise to 5,000 by 5,000. And that should consume 473 of our delta V. So let's just keep maneuver prograde, and then we will be burning, I think, still manually, because I don't know what is our power generation versus our power consumption. I'm always a little bit cautious on that side, so burning at our apoapsis, and I think actually we can burn full throttle because we're closer to the sun than Kerbin, so our generation is actually way more than it is with the other one, so I think we'll be fine actually. Yeah, definitely. Okay, burning. And 5000 by 5000 will be the apo or the orbit at which we will be leaving Eve on our return back to Kerbin. Perfect, so let's just re-enable the SAS, and that leaves this probe to wait for its appropriate transfer window. Perfect. Time to do some building. Come on, Kerbal construction time. Make sure that you build all the ships before we actually get the Kerbin to Eve window, please. And it's a good way to pass the time and also gain some science. I mean, we really need some science. Otherwise, we're gonna drag these missions forever. And I really want to advance in our Kerbal Space program. So, okay, vessel rollout on the pad. And loading. Okay. Near future probe. This one will be going to Eve, so let's fly. It's basically a small probe of it's a copy of the probe that went to Moho. I'm not sure if it collected all of the science, but we don't care. So I was just checking what blew up, and it was the Reflectron. I think it's from the return stage. So, like I said, not really that much caring about it. So it's kind of a busy episode. First, redesigning for the Eve transfers, then starting to launch, and we have a couple of launches in this episode, so yeah. I'm aware that my kind of program is a little bit heavy on the launches, especially now, but we have a couple of transfer windows, and later on it will be lots of building and aerobraking and stuff, so if we want to have a busy program later, I think it's better that we actually buckle up and send our craft now, otherwise we would be just playing mission by mission, so which I don't think it's realistic. I mean, if we figure out NASA is sending probes everywhere, and then when their transfer time comes, then they activate it. Otherwise, we would be waiting for basically any sort of progression in terms of decades. So, yeah. And this time I'm actually just circularizing using this ascent stage, and I'm even thinking that I'll probably, if I remain something, I'm not sure if I'll return this one or will I rather use it to boost it a little bit further. We'll think about that. So I'm now just fixing that to get a more or less circular parking orbit until the such time when we actually launch this one. So we went a little bit overboard, 120 by 90, and I want it to be 100 by 100 roughly. Or around that, but more or less even circular. So 5.3 meters per second burn, and that's it. Wow, we already exceeded it, but okay, not too much, I guess. Warp to, I guess, periapsis, or was it apoapsis? I'm not sure. I cannot see here. And yes, apoapsis actually. So now I'm just making sure that my orbit is more or less perfectly circular, deploying the two solar panels, and unpacking the probe, so to say. Open up and open up. Yay! Beautiful. I really like the animations, and I really do like using infernal robotics. It just goes so well with the near future. Okay, close. We have correctly put, we don't want to activate our communication dishes yet, but we have put correctly all of our targets. So, return stage, shall we play use the missile or not? I don't think so. So, we will actually return back to Kerbin, I guess. So, arming the chutes. As many as I can. And looking from this perspective, at least now we are advancing with our reusable program that are, even if our interplanetary craft are failing at times, our return ascent stages are coming up with only engine blown. But yeah, well, that's usually the most expensive part. So, coming up just above the Kerbal Space Center. Beautiful. By the way, guys, if I had planned this accurate of a return, I would probably miss it by way more. So, chutes expanding, and our return stage is happily returned back without its engine being blown. So let me recover the vessel before the game changes its mind, so to say. Okay, 388 science, so we do have some science, and also we're reconditioning the launch pad. And then after reconditioning the launch pad, we want to be, let's just check if I have another one, orbital supply station. I just want to basically build one more orbital supply tug just for security reasons, because I'm worried that at a certain time our we'll run out of resources, and then I want to have one of these babies basically prepared to go up once again. Cool. So let's go to in the VAB and Eve Complex Probe Carrier, and that's actually Eve Scansat Ship 1. Let's roll that one out. So we are launching the Eve Scansat ship. And the whole purpose of it is to actually look for biomes and look for altimetry data, because Eve is veiled with a very thick cloud layer, and for us it's almost impossible to see anything below that. So that's why we want to use Scansat to help us map the terrain. So, and my game crashed, which meant that I had to go again and just play it from there. Okay, physics, please load this time. Yep, perfect. Okay, blast off and regular launch. Ascending to raising our apoapsis. By the way, I have gotten some interesting comments that you could actually not give the rocket a little bit nudge and tell the flight computer to follow prograde. By one of my commenters, I think it's Urishima or so. Yeah, thanks for that. I have already recorded the next, I think until episode 59, more or less. So I will probably try it afterwards. So I haven't forgotten, but yeah, I've been really busy recording last couple of days. So yeah. Okay, and circularizing the orbit with our Scansat ship. And that's it. We're on orbit, and I'm pretty happy with the way this one looks, so I'm even thinking not of fixing it. So I'm just now selecting the different targets. And I won't activate the satellites just yet, so I think that's fine. Perfect. Back to Space Center and back to the new launch. So, let's see, which one shall we launch next? Reconditioning the launch pad, and let's do the Exploration 1 comms. So, this is the ship that will be establishing communications network around Eve. Okay, and let's see, Eve Exploration 1. That's pretty much similar ship to the one that went to Duna. So yeah, launching and making sure that we can actually deploy stuff. So yeah, up and away, I guess. I find these smaller versions for the closer planets way better than the one I'm using for Joule, because that one, I mean, given the nukes and everything, that was just so tedious. This one is a little bit challenged on the Delta V, but then again, Rhino is pretty capable engine, and I'm hoping it will have enough Delta V to be able to get to Duna, but then again, I have no idea if it will. Certainly looks promising, but yeah, we'll see. After we're circularized, I'm hoping to at least stand on some, let's say, 2K Delta V, 2 to 3, yeah. So yeah, I think it will be fine. I'm guessing this should probably also be okay for Joule, but then again, I really didn't want to find out. So, besides, making that Joule monstrosity was also fun and interesting challenge. I think I'll probably be able to reuse the Joule ship for Sarnus or Urlum or whatever. So yeah. Okay, that one is safely parked. Let's go on to the next one. Like I said, I mean, I've crammed most of the launches, I think, in one episode and most of the transfers in the other. So yeah, a little bit being busy, like I said. So now we want to just check the Joule nuke probe, because that's the next one to happen on our Kerbal alarm clock, and I just want to make sure that we need to fix our apoapsis or periapsis or a little bit maneuver, that we make sure that we get Joule encounter. And it's kind of like, yeah, no, maybe, you know. So I just figured, just nudge it a little bit. And when you look from this perspective, we should more than have a Joule encounter. It's just game being crazy, I guess. But then again, I didn't want to risk it, so I just said execute the maneuver, move it a little bit, and then hopefully I don't need to care about it. So that's supposed to happen in 43 days, so let us time accelerate to that one. Oh, and in the meantime, we actually have our Kerbin to Eve transfer windows. So first is Eve to Kerbin. And I think it might be time that we should basically return our probe home. What do you think, guys? 2 hours, and yeah. So, let's see where our burn is supposed to be. Let's input the parameters. Okay, maybe we're not exactly close at Kerbin, but we should be somewhere in the ballpark. So yeah, and we see we have already a near miss of Kerbin, and we have an exact match. So as much as I'm trying to play and come closer, it doesn't let me. So once I exit the Eve sphere of influence, I'll actually fix that. I think it's for the better. So, perfect. So, that being said, 1068 meters per second. We have 4.8 thousand, which is more than enough. So, coming up around an orbit, making sure that we are pointing maneuver prograde, and let us do the burn, which will take a measly 16 minutes. Beautiful. By that time we can just sit down and appreciate the beauty of Eve in the background, as we will slowly burn for another 17 minutes in real time. Pause for effect. Honestly, I'm kidding, guys. I'm running this as high time acceleration as I can, basically, given the abysmally low thrust to weight of these kind of things. So, but yeah, I'm actually thinking that I should call it an episode here. Lots of transfer or lots of launches and finalizing by our first Eve Explorer actually burning to get back home to Kerbin. I can not see a better fitting end to this episode than that one. So hopefully we might be returning some sweet science after all back to Kerbin. So yeah, that pretty much brings us to the end of this episode. Please do like if you like the episode. Hit that subscribe button for more KSP content that should be coming soon. And yeah, thank you once again for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.